Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another What You Should Be Watching with me, Brad Fitzpatrick, and my ever so lovely co-host, Zach Washburn. Say hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
So we messed up and we put a video out yesterday, so we're going to put a video out today, which is like just a day after. But please tell me, Zach, how was your day between?
It was good.
It was good.
Good.
I mean, it's always
Didn't really do anything. Just hung out and relaxed.
didn't watch any good movies.
No,
No.
no, I didn't. I spent all that time devising up my top five list for our video.
No? Well, I mean that's understandable. I worked the entire day, so I didn't make a list at all.
Oh, awesome!
But today,
Always
guys,
prepared, Brad.
always. Today we're going to be talking about our top 5 comedic movies, which is going to be simple but also hard because there are so many that can go on this list that it's going to be awfully hard to narrow them down to 5. Now tell me, Zach, though, before I get started, since I didn't make a list, are we allowed to put movies that are on our top 10s list or not?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we are. I will tell you that there was one that was on a list previous. It wasn't on my top 10,
Mhm.
but that I decided not to put on here because we'd already talked about it before. But I probably would have put it on here if not for that. There was actually a movie on your top 10 list that I would have added, but since you had already talked about it, I kind of had to do a little rearranging, but still very, very good comedy movies, in my opinion.
And I mean that's kind of where I'm at right now because there's so many that I want to talk about, but because we already know my number 1 and my top 10 is Airplane.
Exactly. Yeah,
So like
that was gonna be on my list. It was.
I mean
Yeah, this was a little more difficult than I thought it would be.
I mean, it is because I mean, we watch lots of good comedy movies, but I think we can pull it out, and I think there's still going to be some wiggle room in there that your list is not going to be like my list.
It never is.
I'm just saying. Why do you think I go second?
That's fine. All right, I don't mind going first.
I know. Beauty before age.
Yeah,
That's just how it goes.
I don't know about all that, but
Well,
thank you, Brad.
all right, guys. So we're going to start. Zach, what is your number 5 of your favorite comedic movies?
Okay, number five for me. A lot of people don't agree with this, but like I said, these are movies that gave me the most laughs in life that I think are funny. Um, it was Steven Spielberg's attempt at a comedy, Schindler's List. I thought it was really. I'm kidding. Sorry, I had to do it again. I
I
loved it.
mean, I mean, that was worth it. I mean, it really was. It was really worth it. You know, I'm Schindler, and here's my list.
Yeah. No. Okay, my real top five.
Okay.
All these movies are great. They're a series, but the first one, Police Academy.
Nice. I'll give you a round of applause for that one
Yeah,
because that wasn't even on my list, but it should be on my list. Okay, good
yeah,
job.
I love Police Academy. I love it.
Oh,
Didn't really care for Mission to Moscow, but of course I do own it because I'm a completionist.
right. Like the first 3 Police Academy movies are the best in my
Yeah,
opinion. The just and there's such iconic characters too.
they really are, and I love movies like that where they're able to bring back those cast members over and over again. Because a lot of times they can't do that, especially back in the '80s. Sequels when they did sequels, um, they, you know, I don't know what they were thinking, but I think production companies didn't really care who they got back, just as long as it had a name on it.
Yeah.
And I think they have finally learned that look, people want to see those familiar faces in a
Hmm.
sequel.
Yeah.
Don't just put a name on it just because it's a name.
I know.
And so they've done that a lot more. But Police Academy did that pretty much through all 7 films, trying to bring back everyone they could.
I mean, the Goot had to have some money. I'm just saying. Do you remember the last movie he was in?
No,
It was a
the
movie
last
on.
movie.
It was a sci-fi movie, Lava Lantula.
Oh Lord,
Yes, but don't no. It was great.
really?
Yeah, because it's like you know Sharknado, right?
Yeah. So it was one of those
It,
sci-fi movies.
yeah, it was one of those like it knew exactly what it was doing. Like
Yes.
this is so out there, but we're gonna make it funny.
He Yeah, I like Steve Huber. I've always been a fan of his. Really really big in the '80s, some of the early '90s, but yeah, he kind of just jumped ship after that, didn't he?
Yeah, it kind of like phased out, but he's still a great actor though.
Oh yeah, I
You
thought I
know,
thought he was great.
and then Bobcat Goldthwait, right? Look at
Yes,
all the things he's done now. Like some of my
yeah,
favorite like dark comedy movies are just
yeah.
are he's directed and
He's
written,
directing, yeah, and he's doing a lot of writing and directing. Yeah, he's great.
right? I got him like, and then the guy that does all the voices, he still does like all
Michael
sorts of
Winslow.
sound stuff now.
Yeah,
So, still like iconic characters. Good choice, Police Academy.
thank you.
Good choice. All right, so what's your number four though? What's your number four?
Number four on my list gave me a lot of laughs. It was a while before I finally saw it. My brother talked me into it one Christmas, and Bad Santa.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where we're gonna defer because I didn't like it.
Why not?
I don't know. Like, just I think it was. I think it tried too hard, and I don't like movies where the main character's a douchebag. I
That's
just
what
I'm
I
really.
loved about it.
I mean, that's why
I,
most people love it because they're like, oh, he's a douchebag, but he's trying to be a lovable douchebag. Like, no, no, he's just
a
a
douchebag.
douchebag.
I don't
You
know
know?
what it was, Brad. If a movie does it well, I love vulgarity in a movie. If it's
Well,
done well, there's a
yeah,
way to tastefully do vulgarity. Some people will just throw it in just to be vulgar. And I don't mind that, but it has no comedic value to me.
right.
Bad Santa had that vulgarity in it that was the way Billy Bob Thornton pulled it off. And his just that scene with him trying to get the alarm clock off and just, you know, smashing it and banging it and cussing, just talking about his life.
Yeah.
I, I laughed very very hard and throughout that whole movie. I liked it a lot more than I thought I did. Obviously,
Well,
you did.
yeah. I mean, I understand the premise behind it, and as I've told you before, I like all movies. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's not. It's obviously not on my top five worst.
yeah.
But it's just I could watch it. It's just something about it. I'm just like I don't find assholes funny.
Okay.
It's. I know that's weird because I
No, no.
am
I mean,
sometimes an
yeah.
asshole.
I got you. I completely understand. Yeah.
All right, so what's your number three comedic movie?
Number three, I had to put Peter Sellers in here somewhere,
You had to,
and
yeah.
pretty much all the Pink Panther movies. But my personal favorite was the Pink Panther Strikes Again.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I think
that's always been my favorite. And critically acclaiming speaking, it did not do that well.
well, I mean, I
Um,
I feel when I watched it that he more like the first one was good, but I think in the second one, uh, it feels like he came into the character more. Like he
yeah,
knew how to what he's the character he's portraying. They had that good connection with the director as you talked about before, and I think that it may not have done good with critics, but I think it was really one of the better Pink Panther movies.
I do too. I love the story, and again, it's one of those that bring back all those, um, original characters. Uh, just I don't know. They have all those great scenes with him and in Inspector Dreyfus, who is actually the main antagonist in the film, and when he's fighting with his butler Cato, just great scenes.
Right. I mean, such Peter Sellers, man. We haven't we could talk all day about how great Peter Sellers is, and I really don't think we could ever really scratch the surface upon that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
No, he's one of my all-time favorite comedic actors, and yeah, I love these movies. I would put all Pink Panther movies as number three,
yeah,
but that was my personal favorite, The Strikes Again.
it's understandable. I mean, understandable. Great choice. Okay, number two though. Come on, you got to wow me.
Okay, I don't know if it's a wow you or
Yes,
not.
you have to wow me. You're getting down to the wire because comedies are my thing. So come on.
All right, I think you'll like this one. We talked about Mel Brooks before, and I had to add Mel Brooks. My favorite Mel Brooks was Spaceballs.
Good choice. Good choice. I own it twice.
Yeah, I'm a big science fiction fan. I love Star Wars, and I love the fact that Mel Brooks took a shot at that and parodied it.
Hmm.
It was great. There's so many great laughs in that, and all the characters, and they have to go so over the top and make you know Dark Helmet
Oh
be
yeah.
this tiny little. But Rick Moranis, it, the voice he did, and it just this little nerd guy being
Nobody
the
else could have done Dark Helmet.
oh, it was great. It was
Nobody.
just so great.
And
Yeah.
such a quotable movie too.
Oh, I could quote that all day.
We talked about movies that we may have never seen or our kids may have never seen, but they still know the quotes from the movie just
Yeah,
because we have.
exactly.
And it just passes down through generations. And I don't think anybody doesn't know. Oh, your Schwartz is as big as mine.
It's how you handle it.
You're right. And you know what the saddest part is? I love that movie. I love that movie so much. Like I own it twice. I watch it at least yearly, like I do all the other Mel Brooks movies. I have a marathon. But my favorite scene in that entire movie, which is probably going to shock you a little bit because it's unconventional, okay? It's towards the end of the movie when they're at the space diner, right?
Yeah,
And they're ordering the chili, right? And then
yeah.
over in the corner, like the dude from Aliens,
Or they
like the
actually,
alien pops up out of his chest, but he's like, not again. And then like
that
that
was
whole
classic.
scene of where it's like dancing and singing and then it runs
Hello,
off,
my honey. Hello, my baby.
right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, check please.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's a great scene. John Hurt.
John Hurt, rest
Yeah,
his soul, man.
that was great. Yeah. Okay, this is another fine example of what I was just talking about. Vulgarity that was done tastefully. Mel Brooks had a knack for
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
He
definitely.
knew when to put in a cuss word, that would just make it funny. My favorite scene in that movie is when they go to ludicrous speed,
Yes.
and it, Dark Helmet, Rick Moranis is, he's going faster than the speed of light, and he's like, my brains are going into my feet. They're just so fat. He's like, stop this thing, and Colonel Sanders is like, we got to slow down first, and he's like, bullshit. That's just, there's no other word that would have fit that time, and oh, that movie's just and Pizza the Hut, Dom DeLuise's Pizza the Hut,
Oh,
you know, it's
another
in his
great
phone
comedic
cell
actor though.
and
Dom
his
DeLuise is
sidekick,
fantastic.
Pew.
That's fantastic, man. Okay, that great choice. Now I can't put it on my choice, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry.
No,
You
no,
gotta choose
no,
another Mel Brooks film.
no. Yeah, like like I said, I have the entire collection over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so so number one, this is your number one movie. If you don't have this movie as your number one, Zach, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you, but very happy because that means I can put it on mine.
I doubt you have this Sunny movie. It's probably a big surprise to you.
Okay.
This was no question for me. This movie gave me more laughs as a kid growing up. Like I said, another one, vulgarity done tastefully.
Mhm.
The great duo of Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. See no evil, hear no evil.
Okay, yeah, okay, that is a very good surprise. I mean, I say
Yeah,
good surprise because it isn't what I thought it was going to be,
I didn't think. Yeah,
but
I didn't think you'd think that was it. But
great, great movie. Like,
this was the first. They've done a few movies, of course. That was the first movie of theirs I saw. Just a great story. It was funny. It's if you haven't seen it, it's about a blind guy and a deaf guy. They meet, become friends, and they're accused of murder, and they've got to try to clear their name. And it's just they go on these hijinks, and it's just so funny, and they worked so well together. And yeah, like I was saying before, that's the vulgarity in it is high because of course it is Richard Pryor, but he out of anybody had a way to do it tastefully and where it was done. If you need to drop an F-bomb,
yes.
he dropped it in the
Mhm.
right place. You know what I'm saying?
And such both good comedic actors in their own right.
Yeah.
I mean, Gene Wilder's such a great character comedic actor. Even though Blazing Saddles is my favorite Gene Wilder movie of all time,
Yeah,
to drop another Mel Brooks, just
sure.
named right there.
Yeah.
But just and they did several movies together. Not That's not just the only one.
Oh yeah, Stir Crazy, Another You. They did. Yeah, they did a few.
I mean, it's such a fantastic duo back in the day. Like the '80s had some really good comedic writers. Like it seems like in the '90s nowadays, in the double O's, 2010s all the way up to now. Like I don't like there seems to be something missing in a lot of the comedies that we see right now.
I definitely agree, and that's actually I don't really get into comedies anymore because they don't do it for me like the older movies used to. And like I said, my brother had to finally talk me into seeing Bad Santa.
Uh-huh.
Uh, or I
I,
would have never
I
watched it.
I agree with you, but there have been some good ones. Um, like this isn't on my list, but I was actually going to talk about it because it was probably one of the better comedies that I've seen in a long time. And it's on Netflix. Well, it was on Netflix. I actually looked it up just a second ago to make sure I got the name right because the name is rather difficult. It's called A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
Never heard of it.
Okay, it is basically it's a mockumentary about the creation of lampoons.
Okay.
Yeah, it is gloriously funny.
Yeah.
Like I have not laughed so hard within the last like newer comedy movies as I laughed at that movie, and it was fantastic. Because it like when I say mockumentary, it's an actual movie, but it's from God, I can't remember his name, but he narrates the entire movie. He's one of the creators of the Lampoons, Douglas Kinney.
Okay.
Okay, he's one of the original creators of the Lampoon movement, which was originally a magazine,
Yes.
and then they started getting into movies, and things like that. And it's like he narrates the entire movie, but there's somebody else that plays him
Okay.
as well as all the other characters, but he's like in the background half the time, and it's really funny. It's like how he does it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, Zach, I would suggest you see it, and I think
Sounds
that
like a
you
good
would fall in
good
love with it
concept.
too.
Yeah. And I like mockumentaries. I like all those that I forget his name, but he's like one of the most famous mockumentaries, the one that does the Best in Show and
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. I like his movies.
yeah. Those are really great. Okay, so then I guess we're on to my number 5, which I'm going to steer clear of Mel Brooks since we have talked so heavily about Mel Brooks. Okay, like
Okay.
I'm gonna say right here, right now. Here's our honorable mentions for my Mel Brooks that are not a part of my list, which should be on my list. But I'm not gonna put him on there because everybody knows Mel Brooks.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I actually I thought I had set it out, but I guess it was moved because I was gonna actually bring out the entire collection so I could talk about it. But yeah, it looks like it was moved. Okay, so Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
And again, Gene Wilder, great comedic actor. That's probably one of my favorites, Mel Brooks. It's on the low end there. I
Yeah.
loved watching that movie. I own it twice as well, which is kind of funny. But I have the special box set as well as the special edition.
Right.
And it's so fantastic. Such a great movie. On from there, you're going to have Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Yeah. I like that one.
which is amazing. From there, obviously, Spaceballs, in my opinion, would come next. Then you would have History of the World Part 1 in that frame. And then you would have Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles, to me, is probably the best Mel Brooks movie. I mean, I like everything about that movie just screams like we're trying to push the button as much as we can
Yeah.
to see how well it's going to go.
Right.
And I feel like every single step of the way with that movie was them pushing just to get a laugh, and it nails it every single time.
It was great. It really was. Yeah.
Even to the very end of the movie where everything goes chaos. and it goes
Yeah.
so meta where they're like fighting it out in the studio parking lot. It, I mean, it's perfect,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
great.
And I still catch myself sometimes, like if I'm bringing something to somebody, or or I'm gonna go talk to somebody, and they're not paying attention to me, I'll be like, "Telegram from Ongo, telegram from Ongo," or somebody will talk to me and like asking my opinion, and I'll be like, "Mongo only pawn in Game of Life." Like it's just everything about that movie is
It's great.
fantastically delicious.
Yeah.
I die laughing every time. But okay, my real number five then. We take Mel Brooks out of it. I mean, we have to start with number five.
Okay.
Okay, um, Monty Python's The Meaning of Life.
Great. Great. Classic. Yes.
Okay, Monty Python's The Meaning of Life is one of the quintessential comedic movies where everything's mashed together.
Yeah.
It has a general rule in the background of what the story is going to be because it really is done. It's basically just what is the meaning of life,
Right.
you know? And every single like skit in it has a connecting to that theory until the very end of the movie where it kind of like, Eric Idle is like, "Oh, you want to know the meaning of life?" Oh, well, I guess to me it's to love everyone and to be loved in return, to be kind and not be such an asshole. That's
Right.
the entire part of the end of the movie, which is fantastic. I mean, and every single skit, like from the Catholic sperm song,
Yeah.
right?
Great.
Which
Yeah.
everybody knows,
Yeah.
you know.
Monty Python, man, they're, they really invented the classic sketch comedy type
Oh
of
yes,
that group. I mean, so many people owe their careers to them. I think.
yes.
For,
Their
sorry.
Netflix actually had a series. I think they've had two where they talked about. They gathered comedians to talk about their favorite Monty Python skits.
Yeah.
And I was watching it one day with my youngest daughter Willow, and I showed her my favorite skit, which was the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yeah.
Just I don't know what it is about that skit that just it makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that after watching that, my Willow would go around and say, "Daddy, look at my silly walk," and just start walking really silly, and I would die laughing the entire time. It was something glorious I could share with my
Great.
daughter. Which Monty Python is that? It's a stepping stone. It's so good, you know. But okay, number four. Let's see. As I said, I didn't make a list. These are all off the cuff, so I have to find it. I thought it was right there. It is not. So we're gonna go with this movie right here, and I'll pull a Zach. I will pull a Zach. Okay.
Okay.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. I never saw that.
It's great. It's all it's subtitled and dubbed, but it's one of those it makes fun of martial arts movies because this guy actually has several where that's what he does. He makes fun of martial
Okay.
arts movies, and he's so good at it.
The director or the actor?
Both. The director is the actor and the original writer.
Okay.
Okay?
Is that the one where in the trailer he's fighting the cow?
No. That one's coming up.
Coming up.
Coming up.
Oh, okay. So that's on your list too.
That's on my list too. Okay, no,
Okay.
this one is traditionally done by a Chinese guy. His name's Stephen Chow.
Yeah.
Okay, he has this. He has Shaolin Soccer. He has The God of Cooking, which is also really good. Very very funny guy. Honestly, they're really really fantastic movies. Which now I want to watch this. So. All right. So what was that was what's number was that? That was 3,
That
right?
was number 4.
That was
We're
number
on
4.
3.
Okay, number 3.
No, wait. Okay, no, okay, yeah, Monty Python, then this one.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was number
yeah.
4. Number 3, Shaun of the Dead.
I never saw that either.
You
Everyone
never
talks
saw
about
Shaun of the Dead?
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, have you? So you obviously haven't seen any of the Cornetto trilogy that he did. Huh?
No, no, I haven't. But I've heard they're really good. Yeah, but
They are. I
I've
mean, I
never
have
saw.
all three of them. Which the Cornetto trilogy is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, are they connected in some way, or do they just have the same people in them?
They have okay, so they're not really connected at all. It really has just Simon Pegg and Nick Frost
Right.
because they've been friends ever since their original TV show Spaced, which is actually
Yeah.
really funny too. But they call them the Cornetto trilogy because in each movie they get a Cornetto, which is basically an ice cream cone. That over
Okay.
in England it's called a Cornetto,
Got it.
and that's it. It's such a good movie. Shaun of the Dead. If you haven't seen it, it's obviously a zombie movie.
Yeah.
But it kind of turns the zombie nation, on its side. You know, like it's about this guy who's not in a relationship. He's in a relationship, but he doesn't want to get married. He has commitment issues, but his girlfriend wants to get married, so she dumps him because he doesn't want that. Living with his two roommates. One's an uptight asshole, and the other one's a drug dealing kind of layabout. And zombies run up. Edgar
So
Wright.
zombies are kind of the side story.
Right. I mean, Edgar Wright is the one who directed it and co-wrote it, and some of the shots in the movie are just perfect.
Yeah.
Just absolutely perfect. There's one of the opening sequences has him as he's going to work is a one long shot, no breaks, of him leaving his house, walking across the street, going over to a grocery store, like a mini mart basically, to grab
Yeah.
something to drink. And like everything going on in the background. Later on, after the zombies hit and he doesn't realize it and he wakes up and he's going to go do the same thing, as he's walking, doing that long shot again, walking across the road, everybody who was in that first opening scene is in this scene, but as a zombie. And it's perfect. Like
Yeah.
the humor is so dry and so like vapid, but it's so great. But the story kind of full circles itself.
Yeah.
So that was number 3. Number 2 is, and here's the one, him fighting the cow. I got it right here. At least I thought I had it right here. I had it out because I was going to watch it. Yep, there it is. Yoink. Kung Pao.
That's it. Yeah.
That is it.
Right.
Kung Pao. This movie right here. I went to theaters to see this movie. I and my roommate at the time were the only two people in theaters to watch this movie. And I cried laughing.
Yeah.
The premise of this movie is Steve Odenkirk, right? Yeah, Steve Odenkirk, brother to Bob Odenkirk. Okay. He took an old Chinese martial arts movie, re-edited it, redubbed it, and put himself in it. He, as a child, he was the prophesized one.
Yeah.
And so, like, the master martial artist went to go kill him as a baby to stop the prophecy. And the prophecy was a baby with a mouth on his tongue will kill you.
A mouth on his tongue.
Yes. And it gets outrageous from there.
Yeah.
Like, you have never seen this, though, have you, Zach?
No. No, like I said, I saw the trailer back when it was first being advertised. I was like in high school or something.
It is
yeah.
probably the silliest movie on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, you think
Not too
like
silly, is it?
yes. Literally. Like, he's getting fought by a whole bunch of guys, and he's like, I can't hold them off. I need a weapon. And he reaches his hands down. As you can see right here, he finds gophers and links them together to make gopher chucks, Zach.
Yeah.
Gopher
It doesn't
chucks.
sound like something I would actually enjoy, though, Brad. If it's something too silly, It loses it for me.
No, I mean, yeah, that's the point. But there is just something about this movie to me, like there's an edge to the silliness at times. Okay, so the entire fight scene at the very beginning between the old master and him as a baby, like the baby's whooping him, like literally, and then
Yeah.
finally the old master like sets the house on fire, so the baby jumps out the window and starts rolling down a hill. And like giggling, so it's like baby laughter as he's like hitting all these rocks on this hill, rolling down it, and
Yeah.
then like you see that like he kind of stops in the middle of a road where an old lady like has this like big like old like how they used to transport sticks and stuff like that big backpack, in old
Right.
China, goes, oh, a pretty baby, and picks up the baby. It's like, ooh, and then just throws him down the rest of the hill. Like that is the opening sequence to this movie.
See, now that sounds funny.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is just like it is like I try to explain it, but without you actually watching it and seeing it, it's kind of ridiculous. Like there's a
Yeah.
part towards the end, towards the later part of the movie where he's been found again as an adult because he's had to fight his way becoming an adult by himself. So he has no like martial arts skills except for what he's known on himself, and he's being hunted by the evil martial artist again. And so like they're hunting him, and there's a part where the evil martial artist got his group of people over there, and like the main character is walking, and so like one of the evil martial artist's henchmen goes caw caw to let him know that he was there, and so the evil martial artist goes, I'm a birdie too. Like
I don't know. The way you tell it sounds really pretty funny.
it is. It's fantastic.
Next time I
You
would open with those scenes and not the hamster nunchuck. So when
you
you're
would
telling
hate
someone about
the
it,
ending though. You obviously would hate the ending
yeah.
because they brought in aliens.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know. In a goofy movie like that, I might expect it though. It might not disappoint me as much.
Right. And it kind of pulls it together, but kind of disconnects itself at the end. But
Yeah.
it's hilarious. It's Okay, so number one. Okay, number one. Since I had to take Mel Brooks out of this, and I've already talked about Airplane.
What would
Otherwise,
be your number one after
Right.
Mel Brooks and after Airplane?
okay, I'm gonna have to bring back Monty Python. Monty
Holy
Python,
Grail?
the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, just literally,
to say me.
yeah. Like it's, look, the Lord Sir Robert who bravely ran away. Just honestly, I own that movie twice.
Yeah.
Such
that's
such
great.
an such an another such iconic movie though.
Wait a minute, I'm not dead.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed. I didn't vote for you. Like really, like I think that was really one of the biggest Monty Python movies ever, in my opinion. Like I love all the Monty
Yeah,
Python
definitely.
movies.
That probably was the biggest as far as Monty Python. I mean, everybody knows that movie. It's Monty
E-
Python. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those movies that is again stapled in iconic history.
Yeah.
When they talk about like comic movies, obviously it's right there.
Absolutely.
Everything about that movie is fantastic. And even to the part towards like what would they call you, sorcerer? Some people would call me Tim. I mean, and the holy hand grenade,
Yeah.
right? You shall not count to 4 or 2 with the holy hand grenade.
Great.
Such a just fantastic movie. There are many movies that I could have personally put on this list of movies that, for comedy purposes, needed to be on this list.
Oh yeah, me too. And I, like I said, there were this was hard for me. There was a lot that I wanted to put some Chris Farley movies on there. I'd have to
Yeah.
give Tommy Boy at least an honorable mention, and yeah, Holy Grail. Yeah, there wasn't any Monty Python on my list, and
Which
I'm actually a
surprised
little,
the heck out of me.
I know, a
I
little
honestly
ashamed
thought you
about
would put
that.
Holy Grail on number one like
Yeah,
me.
well, those were funny. I had to think about the movies that gave me the most laughs, though. Not to say that I didn't laugh a lot at the Monty Python movies, but not as much as these. But yeah, like I said, this was hard. This was a tough category.
Honorable mention on my side, the Hot Shots.
Oh yeah, I love
Hot
Hot
Shots Part
Shots.
2.
Yeah,
Another one, Top Secret. Do you remember Top Secret?
I like Top Secret. I remember Top Secret.
It's great.
Yeah,
Only those who are like supremely close to me have watched it with me.
yeah. Well, hopefully I can. Yeah, hopefully I can make that list.
Yeah, I'm just
I like parody movies. I think you and I you like parody movies, right?
yes.
Yeah, I love the Naked Gun movies. Those are really fun.
Yep. I mean, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, like Naked Gun was like all of those were fantastic.
yeah.
Some of the Michael Myers movies, Austin Powers, those still made me laugh.
Yeah.
Man, so many good.
It was funny. You said Michael Myers. I was like, what, Halloween? What?
Yes, obviously.
Those were so funny when the kids got decapitated.
Right. Any of the Kevin Smith movies, pretty much until the later times, but his
Yeah.
early works, funny, made me laugh. But you're right. Like these are the ones that like I laughed so hard for. But now I want to go watch these movies.
Go watch it. You're off tomorrow, man.
I am. Well, I mean, I still got lots of stuff to do. But, when you're an adult, you have things to do.
Right.
Yeah. But all right, guys, those are our top 5 comedic picks. Hopefully you enjoyed them. And remember, if you have a genre that you want us to talk about or a movie that you want to talk about, leave a comment. I know it's hard sometimes because you just want to watch the video and move on to the next.
Yeah.
Your small attention span is making me angry here.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Or when you just watch 3 minutes of the movie.
Right?
Yeah. Like I do.
Yeah, I know. You just try to make sure that I made sure there was sound to it. That's all you're doing. You're like, that bastard better have sound this time.
Someone's got to watch what you're doing, man.
Right, I know. I'm terrible. I'm awful at this. But all right, guys. Is there anything you'd like to say, Zach?
No, Brad, I don't think there is. Everyone go out there and support your arts.
That's right.
Without art, the world would suck.
Yeah. And remember, be kind to everyone you meet. And we will see you on the next video.
Bye, guys.